Here at our baseball awards luncheon at Chevy's in Encinitas, and people, coach's table, more or less, coach, more coaches, Gunther, Diane, and a parent table. And we have a pretty good crowd here today. Some are even outside. This is our table. Logan and Lauren and John, Mary Kay.
And welcoming you all to our end of the year celebration. Hey, we're breaking all records. I think our total count is 130 some odd people here today, which I mean that just says a tremendous amount about all of you. And obviously the players and the coaches are here, but there's people from the athletic department that are here. There are good friends of the program that are here. And it's just a great day to celebrate. And we have a lot to celebrate. Please congratulate yourselves on winning our program's first ever CCAA Championship. I thought the first thing I'd do is take you a little bit down memory lane, if you will. Maybe take you back to the fall a little bit, some of you players, some of the things we went through, and kind of, like I said, get the juices flowing a little bit, and maybe remind you, you know, it's real easy to focus on the end result, but there was an awful lot that went into getting us to that championship, and there's a couple things I want to make sure, I think we should all make sure we remember. We had a tough fall. For those parents who might have gotten some phone calls, we had to hammer out some issues on this team, and we had some tough times. And we put some bullpen, to kind of give you a story, we put some new grass in the bullpen area over by the batting cages. And some of the grass was new and it was fresh and it looked great. And some of the grass was pretty much dead and it was ugly. And we looked at that patch of grass and we kind of said, look, that's where our team is right now. And as a team, we have some guys that are ready to go. We got some guys that aren't ready. We have some guys that aren't on the same page. And we need to pull it together and make this bullpen grass area the best it's ever been, and come together as a beautiful patch of grass. And as silly as that may sound, when you look at where we were in the fall, you know, that's what the grass looked like. It was pretty darn ugly, and we had a long way to go. Take you to alumni weekend. We had a great alumni weekend, and really the highlight of the weekend was Logan was on the mound, and Coach O'Brien got in at bat. And I know Logan had a great year, but let's make sure you don't forget that Coach O'Brien had base hit to left field in the alumni game. Logan Boudier. Logan was 11 and 2, I think, on the year, and all West Region player, and yet couldn't shut down Coach O'Brien. We came together, started to come together as a team. We shaved our heads together, all of us. We're still sporting the Rally Dome today, and you know, I'm almost inspired to keep it shaved based on the way things went this year. We'll see what my wife has to say about that. Another year of breaking a school record for wins with 37 and 20. It's the all-time wins record. I think it's important to mention we were 22 and 10 at home. And for those of you, obviously, that were here last year, we were 21 and 10 at home last year. I'm seeing a nice trend develop there. And we're a pretty tough team to beat at home. You don't come into our yard and have a whole lot of fun, because we're gonna take it to you. We finished our season winning 10 out of our last 11 games. We were 14 and 3 in non-conference ball games. We were 27 and 0 when leading after the 8th inning. We gave up only 6 runs. In 57 games, we only gave up 6 runs in the 9th inning. Keith Hernandez started 223 games. That's every single game this program has played in the last 4 years. He started every single game. Keith tied the career record for doubles with 48, shattered the career record for assists with 729. Matt Lawson shattered the school record for triples with 9. I think the previous number was like 6. I mean, it wasn't even close. He was stuck on 6 for a while. And he tied the school record for doubles with 19, and runs with 52. David Moorhead broke the single-season record for doubles with 20. Shlomo Lipitz tied a single-season record with 7 saves and career record with 10. Logan Boudier broke the school record for wins with 11. And then when you think about the journey, some of the things we accomplished as a team, think about the rain and all the field work and that tarp. And parents, I know you were there for an awful lot of that field work, waiting for that game to begin. We started out 10-2 on this season, and all of us felt like we should be 12-0 to start out the season. It was a great start. We had some great offensive efforts, way too many great offensive efforts to point out all of them, but there's a couple that we should note. David Moorhead almost hitting for the cycle, but did not trip and fall and stop at first base. Kept going to second base and ended up with 2 doubles, a triple, and a home run. That was a pretty good offensive day right there. Some that stick out. One of many, many doubles for Matt Lawson on a certain championship weekend. 1 of 5, and the game-winning double to beat Chico to send it to a championship ball game. And I don't think any of us are ever going to forget the line drive to right field that tipped off the glove of the first baseman to go to right field. It ignited a pretty darn good dog pile to win the first CCAA championship for the program. Just some great pitching efforts, some things we need to make sure we don't forget. Logan as a stopper. When Logan took the mound, he pretty much, if the team had struggled the game before, he put a stop to it and did a great job throughout the year for that. Let's not forget Shlomo versus Stanislaus. We were up 9-8 in the 9th inning, and the bases were loaded with nobody out. And we won that ball game 9-8. He left the bases loaded. That was a great day. Another great day for Shlomo and something on the mound was after winning this is in our 4-game series at Chico. He saved a great ball game to win a game, to win our game 1 up there, and then came in with the bases loaded, and we were up by 1 in the 9th inning, and left the bases loaded once again. Another great, a great ending to a great win for this program this year. Jose Navarro's 3-hit shutout in a must-win against Cal Poly Pomona at our place after a tough first-game loss. That was a great outing. Byron Grubman's 1 run on 4 hits in his outing up at Sonoma State in a game that many people probably didn't realize was really a must-win game for us. That was an outstanding outing for him on that Sunday. Logan, in his elimination game as a senior against one of the best offensive teams. It's a game you were just watching on this video against one of the best offensive teams in our conference, completely shutting them down and getting us back on track in the conference tournament in that elimination game, winning that game 3-1. Matt Sweeney stopping a rally against Cal Poly Pomona in the next elimination game, and then bouncing back the next game to get the win. He threw 3 2/3 innings, 0 runs, 4 hits, and 1 walk. That was an impressive outing. I think all of these things, obviously there's way too many to point out, everyone. There's been a lot of special moments, but there's one thing you can never say about this ball club, or there's basically one thing you can always say about this ball club, and that's that we never quit. We never quit. Remind you just how special you guys were when your backs were against the wall. In a situation where this program, and I'm going to be brutally honest, when this program used to be outstanding at being down by 5 or 6 runs and saying, you know what, we gave it our best shot, we'll see what happens tomorrow. This team just wasn't going to tolerate it. Let me remind you just how many times you did it and how special those times were. It all started when we were down 7-5 at Point Loma in the 9th inning, and David Moorhead hit a 3-run home run to win it. That's when it all started. At San Bernardino, we were down 12-6 in our opening game against them. And that was in the 6th inning, and we came back to win 13-12. At Cal State LA, we were down 4-3 in the 8th inning and ended up winning that ball game. We were down 8-5 in the 5th inning in that same series against Cal State LA, and we scored 21 runs to win that game 21-10. At Cal State San Bernardino, we were down 3-1 in the 8th inning and went on to win that ball game. At Chico, we were down 4-2 in the 7th inning, came back to win that ball game. At Dominguez Hills, we were down 5-3 in the 9th inning with 2 outs and 2 strikes on the hitter. Now, the score was 5-3 at the time. We won that game 10-5. In the last game of that series, and this is the painful one, sorry to bring it up, but we were down 9-3 again in the last inning. We rattled off 4 runs to make us down by 2. And Joe Clark, home run hitter, our lead home run hitter, gets up there and hits a ball over the wall, and they rob a 3-run home run, which would have been yet another comeback win but people forget that we might have just lost that game, but they forget that we were down 9-3 in that last inning, and that they had to rob a home run to keep us from winning that ball game. And probably the most important one game I will never forget that could very easily get lost in this whole shuffle is being down 8-0 against Cal State Dominguez Hills in a game that clinches our CCAA tournament berth and gives us an automatic bid into that instead of having to rely on someone else. Being down 8-0 and really not playing very good baseball up through that 5th inning, and then winning that ball game 10-9 in the 11th inning. That was the gutsiest performance of the year because it was a must-win ball game, and we're going to talk about a lot of things that I'm very proud of, but that effort out of this group on that day is something that we all should be very, very proud of. I want to bring you all back to a barbecue that all of you couldn't be at the field after we got back from Chico, and I want to tell all of you that Coach Oseguera pulled out the lawnmower and mowed that bullpen mound area on his own because he knew exactly what that barbecue meant, and we knew exactly where we were going to have that barbecue. It's going to be right on that bullpen grass, and that bullpen grass looked as good as it has ever looked all year, and it's a perfect reflection of how this team did and how this season was. Before we go on to start thanking some people and recognize some people for a great year, I want to congratulate you again on one of the best dog piles I've ever seen. Great job. Just a couple of quick things. Skip Boudier, obviously this isn't the ideal setting to watch this video. We just wanted some of it to run so you kind of get into the feel of things and remind you of the season, especially the last 3 weeks. If you haven't heard yet, the Boudiers have put together 2 discs for you, if I'm not mistaken, that have video on one and pictures on the other. They made copies, one for every family here. Obviously, we need to thank him for that, but on top of that, he wants to make sure that all of you check in with him and make sure you get your copy before you leave here today. They'll be thanked a couple of times tonight, but please help me thank them for just doing that. One thing I don't think people ask me all the time, especially this time of year. Well, what are you going to do now? I mean, what do you do now? I mean, you must not have anything to do if you don't have any ball games to play. And people really don't realize just how much goes in to putting a college baseball team together. And the reason I bring that up is because there are so many people that are involved, and there's so many people to thank. And I'm just excited to have this many people here because those of you who we thank today, please understand that obviously I am thanking you as the head coach. But everyone in this room appreciates everything you do for us, and there are so many people that are behind the scenes that deserve recognition. Some of the guys that just did a great job this year are guys that were back behind the backstop, flipping those burgers and playing the walk-up songs, which you obviously cannot do without, and tend to irritate quite a few other people at the ballpark. But please help me thank the guys, John Schock, Tim Hicks, Mike Douglas, and Devin Inserti for their work. To be a good trainer, to be a good athletic trainer, you have to have a great attitude, period. You have to have a great attitude. And a lot of times with baseball, what we get are trainers who have been through a long year of athletic training, and they get to baseball and they really, sometimes maybe they just don't have the best attitude because they're tired, it's been a long year. This young lady has probably one of the best attitudes I have ever seen out of an athletic trainer. She went above and beyond to help us and keep us in good shape. She wanted to travel with us. And this is all I have to tell you about Akiko, is when she wasn't working our ball games, she came to our games and she sat in the stands and watched us play. That's how much she cared about you guys. Please help me thank Akiko for everything. Good attitude pays off. Akiko volunteered her time for a couple of days for the San Diego Padres. Maybe it was a year ago, if I'm not mistaken. And she asked them, went to them a little while ago asking for another opportunity, and they brought her on. And I think she started just this last week with the San Diego Padres. So please help her. Set up a scrimmage between the Padres and our team. Very much looking forward to that.
They're afraid, man. They won't come.
Bring them on.
The role of an SID is a Sports Information Director is what that stands for. And a lot of times what happens is the SID gets to kind of sit up in the athletic department and he